Okay. Ready to dive into some persuasive writing?
I am.
We're going deep with a podcast script for English language learners.
Sounds interesting.
But, even if you're already a pretty good writer, there's always something new to learn.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think this one's got some hidden gems for all of us.
Well, what I find interesting is how this script, it really just lays out how to persuade anybody, no matter what their, language level is.
Yeah.
We're talking about influence.
Right.
Like the structure, the clarity, the emotional connection.
Yeah.
It works when you're writing a business proposal or even just trying to get your friend to try a new restaurant.
Exactly. It's not just for politicians or marketers or whatever.
No, that's right.
Persuasive writing. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Like that last email you wrote where you really needed to get your point across.
Oh, yeah.
Or a cover letter for a job.
Right.
You think a little persuasive magic could have helped?
Oh, I'm sure it could have.
I think so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know what? The source material uses this great example.
Okay.
Trying to convince your boss to implement flexible working hours.
No.
It's not just writing some sentences.
Right.
You have to make an argument. Highlight the benefits for the company and for the employees too.
Right. You got to show them how it's a win-win.
Exactly. A win-win. Hard to resist.
Okay, I'm sold. Persuasion is power. It is.
But how do we actually do it?
Right.
Well, this source material breaks down a persuasive piece into three parts. The introduction, the body paragraphs, and the conclusion.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds pretty basic.
Yeah.
But there's a reason this structure has worked forever.
I know, right? It's not just some random formula.
Right.
This goes all the way back to classical rhetoric.
Oh.
The art of persuasion, it's been around for centuries.
Wow.
What's fascinating is that it still applies today.
So cool.
You follow this structure, and it's like a roadmap for your reader.
It guides them through your argument in a clear and logical way.
I love that. Okay, so guiding the reader. So this source material,
Yeah.
it gives some pretty good advice about writing a really strong introduction.
Okay.
It all starts with a hook.
Okay, yeah.
Something to grab your reader's attention, make them want to keep reading.
Got it.
They give this example of starting with a statistic about remote work and how it's increased productivity.
Oh, I like that.
It's all about getting their attention right away.
For sure. Then you follow up with a thesis statement.
Okay.
Basically what's your main point?
Right.
You can say something like, implementing flexible work hours will boost employee morale and increase productivity.
Boom. Okay, you got me. I'm hooked.
Perfect.
But what about the body paragraphs?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you really get into it.
This is where the Peel method comes in.
Peel. Okay, tell me more.
Each paragraph focuses on one single point.
Okay.
And it provides evidence, like building a case.
Brick by brick.
Exactly.
Okay, give me an example.
Let's say flexible work hours, right?
Yeah.
One paragraph could be about how it impacts productivity.
Okay.
You start with a point. Flexible work arrangements lead to increased productivity.
Got it.
Then you give evidence, like studies, companies that have tried it, show it actually works,
So you're not just saying it, you're proving it.
right? Then goes the explanation.
Okay.
You say, maybe employees can work during their peak hours,
Makes sense.
leading to better focus,
Right. So it's not just the what, but the why.
Exactly.
Okay. And what about the L and Peel?
The L is for link.
Okay.
You wrap up the paragraph
Yeah.
and link it back to your thesis, your argument for flexible work.
Okay. So you're saying
Yeah.
by letting employees work when and where they're most productive,
Yes.
it's a win-win for everyone.
Exactly.
This Peel method is genius.
It is pretty clever.
A recipe for a killer paragraph.
I know, right?
Point, evidence, explanation, link.
You got it.
Okay, but before we get too carried away,
Yeah.
what about the conclusion? How do we wrap this whole thing up?
Right. The conclusion is your grand finale.
Okay.
It's your last chance to leave an impression.
Right.
The source material says, summarize your key arguments.
Okay.
Restate your thesis clearly.
Got it. So we're bringing it all back to that main argument.
Exactly. And you can get creative here.
Okay.
The source material suggests ending with a call to action.
Oh, like telling them what to do next?
Yeah, like in our flexible work hours example, you could suggest a trial period
Oh, that's good.
or tell them to learn more on a website or something.
So it's more than just reading. It's like, okay, what's next?
Exactly. Give them something to do.
Okay. So we covered the basic structure,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling there's a lot more to this.
Oh, there is.
What's next on our deep dive agenda?
Okay, now let's talk about the glue that holds a persuasive argument together.
Oh, intrigue me.
Connectors and transition phrases.
Okay.
Little words and phrases that make a huge difference.
Connectors, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like my writing is kind of choppy.
Okay.
Like, I have all these good ideas, but they're not really flowing together.
Yeah, that's where connectors come in.
Okay.
They're like bridges between your ideas, transitions that guide your reader from one point to the next.
Smooth it all out.
Exactly. And you know what's interesting? These tiny little words, they can have a huge impact.
Really?
Oh, yeah. On how clear and persuasive your writing is.
So it's not just what you say,
Right.
but how you connect it all together.
You got it.
The source material actually breaks these connectors down into like different categories.
Yeah.
Adding information, contrasting ideas, cause and effect.
Right. It's like a whole toolbox.
It is, right.
For writing.
For persuasive writing.
Yeah. Just like any tool, you got to know how to use them the right way.
Right. Okay. So let's start with adding information.
Okay. So words like furthermore, in addition, moreover.
Okay.
Those are great when you want to build on a previous point. You're giving more support for your argument.
Okay.
Like, let's say you're writing about exercise.
Okay.
You could say, regular exercise improves cardiovascular health. Moreover, it strengthens muscles and bones.
Okay. So you're like building up a case.
Exactly. Each point adds to the one before it.
Got it. What about contrasting ideas?
Oh, yeah. Those can be tough.
They are.
But connectors, like however, on the other hand, nevertheless,
Okay.
those can help you be more balanced,
Right.
more nuanced.
So it's not just one-sided.
Right. Like, let's say you're arguing that technology makes life easier.
Yeah. Okay.
You could say, however, it's important to be mindful of technology addiction and privacy concerns.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. You're acknowledging the other side.
Yeah.
It makes your argument stronger.
Because you're not ignoring the potential problems.
Exactly. You're addressing them head on.
Okay. What about cause and effect?
Oh, that's a good one.
I struggle with that sometimes.
Well, connectors, like as a result, therefore, consequently,
Okay.
those can really help.
Okay.
Showing that one thing leads to another.
Right.
For example, climate change. You could say greenhouse gas emissions have increased dramatically. As a result, global temperatures are rising.
Wow. You just made that so clear.
See, connectors are powerful.
They are. I'm starting to see how they can really
Yeah.
make a difference in writing.
For sure.
Okay. Let's move on to something else important
Okay.
that the source material talks about. Tone and formality.
Oh, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay. Tell me more.
It's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
Tone and formality can completely change how your message is received.
I get that.
Like, you wouldn't talk to your friend the same way
Right.
as you would to your boss.
Definitely not.
Right, you'd get fired.
Exactly. It's all about knowing your audience
Yeah.
and the context.
The source material talks about two main types of tone,
Okay.
professional and passionate.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What's the difference?
Professional is more objective, straightforward,
Got it.
focuses on facts and logic.
Okay.
Passionate, well, it's more emotional. You let your energy show.
So when would you use one over the other?
It depends.
Okay.
What are you trying to do? Who are you talking to?
Right. Right.
If you're giving a presentation at a conference, you probably want to be professional.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you're writing a blog post about something you're passionate about,
Right.
let that passion shine through.
So match your tone to the situation.
Exactly.
Now, what about formality?
Okay, so the source material talks about formal and semi-formal writing.
Okay. I'm not sure I know the difference.
Formal is like super professional.
Right.
Academic papers, official documents, that kind of thing.
Got it.
More complex sentences, bigger words, no contractions.
Okay.
Semi-formal is more relaxed, like an email or a blog post.
More conversational?
Exactly.
So it's like formal is wearing a suit
Yeah.
and semi-formal is business casual.
Perfect analogy.
Okay, good.
You got it.
So again, it's all about knowing your audience and the situation.
Right, just for the occasion.
I'm realizing that persuasive writing is more than just
Yeah,
putting some sentences together.
it is. There's a lot to it.
It is, but
Yeah.
even with all this knowledge,
Right.
I still make mistakes sometimes.
We all do.
Are there any common ones we should be aware of?
Definitely. The source material has a whole list.
Okay, like a cheat sheet?
Yeah. Common mistakes and how to fix them.
Okay, give me the top one.
Overloaded sentences.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to cram too much into one sentence.
I do that all the time.
It happens.
It gets all confusing.
It does.
It's like a jumbled mess.
The solution. Break it down.
Oh, okay. Simpler.
Shorter sentences.
Right. Keep it clear.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
What else? Using big words when you don't need to.
Oh, trying to sound smart.
Yeah. But it usually backfires.
Right.
Just use clear, simple language.
So people actually understand what you're saying.
Exactly. Don't overcomplicate it.
Okay, what's next?
Grammar and punctuation.
Ugh, I hate grammar.
It can be tricky.
But it's important.
It is. Nothing looks more unprofessional.
Yeah, like you didn't even try.
Exactly. But grammar's hard.
That's why you proofread.
Right.
And use tools like Grammarly.
Oh, yeah. Technology to the rescue.
Right. It's a lifesaver.
Okay, what's the last mistake on the list?
This one's important.
Okay.
Not backing up your claims.
Oh, yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
Right.
But if you don't have evidence...
Right. It means nothing.
Exactly. It's just empty words.
So you got to prove it.
Use statistics, studies, examples.
Real life stuff.
Exactly. The stronger your evidence, the stronger your argument.
Okay, wow. This has been like a crash course.
I know, right?
In persuasive writing.
It has.
I feel like I learned a lot.
Good.
But I know there's always more to learn.
Oh, absolutely. The key is to keep practicing.
Exactly. The more you write, the better you'll get.
I'm feeling inspired.
That's great.
Before we wrap up, though,
Yeah.
I want to ask you something.
Okay.
If you could write the most persuasive message in the world, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And who would you send it to?
That's tough. You know, if I could write the most persuasive message,
Yeah.
it would be about empathy and understanding,
Okay.
between people from different backgrounds and cultures. I'd send it to everyone,
Wow.
everywhere.
That's beautiful.
I think it could help bridge divides,
Yeah.
make the world a little more peaceful.
A little more compassionate.
Exactly.
It reminds us that persuasive writing,
Yeah.
it's not just about getting what we want.
No, it's not.
It's about making a difference
It can be.
in the world.
It can.
Okay, so much to think about.
I know.
We're almost out of time for today.
Okay.
It's amazing how persuasive writing can be used for like all sorts of things.
It really is.
Selling products, promoting social change.
Right.
It's a powerful tool.
Powerful. And like any tool,
Yeah,
it can be used for good or bad.
that's true.
We have to be mindful of that.
Yeah, the ethical side of it.
Exactly. Just because we can persuade someone
Right.
doesn't mean we should.
It's about using that power responsibly.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important
Yeah.
to understand your audience and your purpose. Like, what are you actually trying to do?
Right, what's the goal?
Are you informing, educating, inspiring, or just entertaining?
So many possibilities.
Once you know your purpose,
Yeah.
you can figure out the best way to achieve it.
I'm realizing persuasive writing is more than just tricks and techniques.
It is.
It's about connecting with your audience.
Yeah.
Understanding them.
Understanding their needs, what motivates them.
Yeah, and presenting your ideas in a way that like speaks to them.
Exactly. You want your writing to resonate with them.
It's about building trust.
Right. Building a connection.
And that takes time.
It does. It's not something that happens overnight.
Well, this deep dive has given me a lot to think about.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm excited to try out some of these things in my own writing.
You should. And remember, the best way to get better
Yeah.
is to practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
Write every day, even if it's just for a few minutes.
Okay.
Try different techniques, play around with connectors.
Experiment.
Exactly. See what works for you.
Okay. Any last words of wisdom?
Yes. Find your voice.
Okay.
Be authentic. Write with passion.
Because
The most persuasive writing
Yeah.
comes from the heart.
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive
It does.
into persuasive writing.
Time flies.
I hope everyone listening
Me too.
learned a lot
It was fun.
and had some fun along the way.
Yes.
Remember, the power of persuasion is
Yeah.
in your hands.
Use it wisely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration.